Hi, my name's Namba. I'm here at Ananda village, and in October of 2012, I was in India with my wife and many pilgrims visiting Ananda, Pune, a community about an hour outside of the city, where 20 people live, but in which buildings are being prepared for 30 more families currently. I'd seen pictures for a long time, but it just didn't compare at all to actually being there on the land. And so I borrowed a video camera, thank you Brian, and Dr. Aditya and I went on a walk around the community, and I invite you to join us on that trip. You'll get to see everything that's there, and you'll have an experience of it that's not like, it's I think second only to actually visiting there in person, which I would invite you to do at some point if you feel to. So first, Dr. Aditya and I took a motorcycle ride about 10 minutes from the community and looked at the community from a distance to get a sense of the overall scope and the layout of the land.
So what we're seeing over here, we're standing on a foothill opposite to our community, and what we are seeing right now is our community on the other side, on the foothill of the opposite hill. Then there's this entire land which is in between there and the south end of the community, where the most obvious thing is the construction happening. The construction of 30 houses for devotees, houses of all sizes, from a studio to a 3-bedroom apartment. Now we'll go to the community and focus on some specific areas. So what we're seeing right now is our kitchen garden. This was our test garden that we started 4 years back. We just wanted to see what things grow, and as we can see, practically everything grows, on this soil. And we've been growing papayas, bananas, tulsi, lemon, okra, bottle gourd, cucumbers. We planted some mango trees also in this garden. We have a small tool shed. So we just by starting this garden, we got an idea that everything grows. And from this garden, then we have created many more gardens, which we can see in this tour. And we got the confidence that things grow very well in this part of the country. Now we are coming to Seva house, the house I had pointed earlier from a distance. This was the only structure which was ready on this land. So everything else you see in this video was done by Ananda members, but this house was ready when we bought the land, and right now it's serving as a place where we have our meals together. For a short while last year it also served as an EFL school when we had 5 to 6 children, but right now we are greeting people over here, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Most of us come together for meals over here in this place, and it also has our kitchen, obviously. Now we'll be going this way. Let's take this road. As I told you, this is Manjunath.
Hi.
One of the members who has now recently moved with his family, his 2 daughters over here, and now we're having electricity from the city. When we came here 4 years back, there was no city power, and so Jamal, our head monk, also being a solar engineer, he had to set up that wind turbine that we are seeing, and we were generating some electricity, enough to run a few light bulbs and a refrigerator at Seva house. And once the kitchen started going, around that time we got city power, initially from the village, but now as we're gearing up to have around 30 families come and stay with us permanently, we have applied for more power. We have our own transformer now, and soon these things should be functional. So what we are seeing on our left, on the extreme left, if we see from here, is an internet dish which gives us high-speed internet on the land. Then earlier we had our solar panels over there. These are the tent housing for karma yogis who want to come and stay here for a long time. This is our newly constructed office, which was also our boutique for a while. And this area we call the coffee shop patio. And we have a coffee shop, Master's Cafeteria over here. Today we are also having a silent auction of Swamiji's shirt, his ties, and some books and coins signed by him. And this is for raising money for our Yogananda Temple of Light, which is under construction now. On our right is the water filtration system. We recently doubled it. It was earlier half the size. Now with our needs expanding, we've doubled that. A car we bought for Swamiji. You can see whose color choice it must be. And now with the help of 3 devotees, around 3 years back when Ananda was just starting over here, we felt the need of having something more than tents. But having a lack of funds, 3 devotees stepped forward, Amol, Dhruv and Sandeep, and they put in money to make this wonderful 6-room retreat. So we have these, it's a nice area. We've had many ceremonies and kirtans over here. Each room is different. They are named after the places where our masters of our line spent their time. So it's a nice place for one to come. They're fully furnished. They have their own terrace, a small kitchen counter, their own bathroom and shower. So, and while we are standing over here, maybe we'll get a good view. We see this palm tree, then we see another palm tree right on the top, near the top of the hill. So that is the upper limit of our land. We own 32 acres of land over here, and you might say we own the entire face of this hill, starting from that top, going on both sides. That also happens to be the side east side of the land. It will be a few minutes before we actually, 1 or 2 minutes before we reach our next explainable place, but we will walk.
Well, does anything come into mind to talk about?
Sure. One thing which almost everybody, has told us who have been on the land, whether they belong to our line or not, whether they are even devotees or not, is this land is very peaceful, and that's very interesting. Once Swamiji was talking about, somebody asked him about this land, and he said, "Who knows? Maybe saints must have walked here in earlier times." It's very interesting how Master, guides us to these places. Maybe one thing I'd like to point out, it's very interesting, is with what difficulty this retreat was made at.
Sure.
Because we see all these rocks, and we'll also see how much we have to dig out.
Let me get on the same side of you that I was before.
If you want, we can actually even capture this guy.
Sure. You want to talk about what he's
Yes, so this is our tanker, and this is Vijay. Vijay is getting water for us, and now we have some parts of the land in which we did boring, and we have underground water also. We are also trying to lay a pipeline from one of the 2 rivers that we have, but for now this remains the most important source of getting water on our land. Coming on this side, I'd just like to point out that we spoke how we own the hill, part of the hill and the foothill, but we can see from here what it took to create a level ground to make this retreat. And huge, some actually tractor-sized rocks came out, and we had to blast them over here on site before we could clear them. And in a way it was a blessing, because all these rocks that came, they were very beautiful, and we used them to make Swamiji's garden later, to landscape his garden, to make the foundation for this place. And many of the Swami's walking path was entirely made of these rocks From here we can see very clearly how big rocks must have come. Some of them we still haven't been able to move. But that's it, it was a blessing to get such a surplus of rocks right on the land. We didn't have to order any. It's very interesting that, Swamiji and Master I should say, through Swamiji, has given us this opportunity, especially to Indians, and of course all Guru Bhais everywhere, to direct our energy for such a wonderful cause. By the way, yeah, that's the omnipresent Omni. That car is called the Omni, and it's the monk's car. It has carried 16 people at one time in it. And so I was saying the direction Swamiji has given us of cooperative living, of creating an environment which makes it easy, much easy for us to progress spiritually. And especially, we hear like so many people, especially in India, they ask, what is it different that you do? And I tell them we don't do anything differently. I mean, we do the same things, but with a consciousness of how we can serve, how we can give, how we can bring our energies together, how we can create a place where the very same things for living are possible in a harmonious environment. And every act, how we can direct it more thinking of how we can give. And then, of course, God and Masters take care of us. And also we are fortunate that this community is right now in an infant stage. So we're not having too many expectations from it, but we are trying our best. Now here on our right is a kitchen garden which has overgrown, and over here, but that's because of the monsoons. This is something which comes with the monsoons, but we have been growing tomatoes, beans, cucumbers, and bitter gourd, quite a few things over here. So the children, the ladies in the ashram, and a few villagers help us. You see Prisha over there, Brahmacharini Prisha, working around her favorite area, the shower house. And 4 years back, when this land was being blessed, we had around 200 people who had come here, and there was no way we could arrange accommodation for them, but we did make 4 shower houses and bathrooms for them. So that's the shower house, our first structure. On the right we can see our temporary temple, which we are using right now, and just beyond that is the place where we would have our permanent temple. Would you like to go there?
Sure.
This is the area around the temple where you can see we planted a lot of trees. Mango, jackfruit, blackberries, the Indian blackberry, lemon, citrus. These are some of the trees which grow very naturally over here. So we planted this, mostly food trees, fruit producing trees. With the help of some devotees, the other day we organized a big Seva day. We cleared out this place. So this is our temporary temple. Also meet Michael, who has moved with his wife Naya Swami Maitri from Isle of Man. And Michael is our chief maintenance person right now. We've been putting mosquito covering to save ourselves from the mosquitoes. Temple which we have constructed, and we have our morning group sadhanas, morning, noon and evening group sadhanas over here. And all residents in the community are encouraged to come here. Over weekends we have satsangs also. We're planning to have, this will be the first weekend when we'll host a satsang over here.
But they look a lot smaller from the outside than they actually are
Yes.
when you're in them.
We'll start here. So this is the first construction phase, phase 1 construction we undertook. Swamiji's house, Swami Ananda's house, and the house of our spiritual directors, and 6 other kuteers for people to stay. Very small, simple, well furnished dwellings. So we'll see. On the left is the garden. This is Charles from Ananda village had come to landscape this beautiful this place very beautifully. I was mentioning earlier the rocks. So all these rocks we see over here, they all came from our own land. And here we have another resident of our land. She is the wife of Hari, our carpenter and supervisor at the construction site. Namaste bolo. Namaste. Good. And here again we have Swamiji's garden, a place for having evening tea. And on the right again the landscape garden around his house. And those are the first 3 kuteers houses, and then on top on another level we have 3 more. So maybe we can go in and see them.
So what sort of people live in these?
Yes. So mostly Swamiji staff when he's here. When Swamiji staff is not there, we have staying here other people. And another thing I'd like to point out over here is this amphitheater we created last year. So in one of the satsangs, Swamiji's satsangs, there were over 150 people who showed up. So that gave us the thought of creating a place where we could have, a larger audience. So then we made this amphitheater, and we've had actually a Ram and Sita play based on Swami's song over here last.
Bill, you want to talk about how the monastery started and how many monks there are and how people join the monastery?
Right, yeah, let me see how many monks there are. So let me talk over here that we are now heading for the monastery. Okay. So right now from the north side of the property we'll be heading to the south end, where we have our men's monastery and the housing project for 30 families, devotee families who will be coming. So let's go and check out these 2 places. So somewhere in the middle of our property is this part where we have created swales with the help of Ramani, I remember 4 years back. And we have right now 2 avocado trees. I mentioned the swales because so much water comes over here in the monsoons. So it helps us to conserve that topsoil, also do some natural rainwater harvesting. And all along the slopes then we have planted these avocado trees. Starting over there we can also see a jackfruit tree which is quite tall right now. All these are 4 years old. Then a mango tree, a citrus, sweet lime, mulberry trees, and we have these swales in different levels. So we have another one below it where we've planted chiku, cashew nuts, and pomegranate. Above us we cannot see clearly, but there are 2 more swales where we've planted again mango trees, guava trees. So right now, last year we were able to put drip irrigation system also over here. So that has been quite helpful. Now we'll be going towards the monastery. So we can see part of the housing project right now, and it's the A block, one of the 4 blocks of the housing project that we started. So first maybe we'll go to the monastery, and then when we come down we can see all blocks where construction is happening on the land. So now we've come to the, you might say, extreme south end of the property, and this is where the men's monastery, Ananda Dwapara men's monastery is situated. We have exactly when we came here 4 years back, around about 4 years back, we started construction and work on the monastery. First we started with the temple, and then one by one we made some houses. So we have right now 6 monks. Another one is going to join us soon, and all of us stay here. What you see, these are some water tanks that could not make it to the height where we intended to put them because of the monsoons. When it rains, as I told you, you can see channels created in the ground because of the gush of water. So we are intending to put them now back soon for just the water supply of the whole community. And here you can see, this is the monastery panel room. We have solar panels on the top. We have our own water tank which feeds us water. Then we have an inverter and our generator inside that room. So the monastery is self-sufficient for now. We have no city power, so we work on solar energy. And these steps will now take us to the monastery. We planted some trees, fruit trees over here. The monastery temple, and our energization area needs some cleaning up. One of the first kutir we made, it's divided into four rooms. One is a kitchen, and 3 where individually monks stay. Our open laundry, and then if you can see from here, we planted some fruit trees up the slope from here, and we can go and see other kutirs and the cave at the monastery. So from here we can see our nice little circular shower house, our composting toilet, hot water, hot water system. The 3 kutirs which are under construction. We also have our own wood fire pizza oven. We made with the help of some Italian devotees, Roby and all. We've been having pizza nights at least twice a year, celebrating with other families whom we invite on the land. So this is the highest. This is the highest construction we've done on the land so far. Devendraji's kutir, another kutir at the monastery, and you can see how just constructing on a hillside, it's good. Everyone gets a nice view. Down there we can see the housing project which is coming. And now we'll be going on this side to see the cave. We also have a cave at the monastery. This is another site. We hand dug it around 2 years back. So as more and more monks come, we were actually trying to make a house over here, but the monsoon season started, so maybe we'll take it up later. So like I was telling you about the monsoons that we stopped work over here. There's a valley just across ours. It's called the Mulshi Valley, and it receives India's 2nd highest rainfall. So you can consider the ocean is on our west side. So we are the first mountain range that receives all those moisture, water-laden clouds as they come thiswards. So monsoon season lasts for, it's something like the cold season of America, you might say. It lasts for around 4 months, and at its peak there's hardly anything you can do except be indoors. It's a great time for seclusion. Like you can see what the monsoon has done over here. This was a natural gutter which we tried to, as we were doing excavation, we just heaped mud, and this is what happens when the rains come over here. And this is one of our the only cave we have so far. And Swamiji once, he said, I'd like to see every monk stay in a cave, and the cave should have a bathroom, and this is the place where you could retire after doing your daily duties. So we made this cave. It's a waterfall front. So we, with the help of a devotee, we blasted out rocks, and we have a bathroom in there, a small kitchen counter. So let's go and see. So this is good for a person. You have your meditation area, you're sleeping, a nice bathroom there, and lots and lots of crystals. You see this, a lot of crystals in the wall, in the rocks over here. We're planning to have maybe one more cave later. We have a big rock face on both sides from here, so we might have more caves. So this is it for the monastery. Now we'll go down and see the housing project that we are getting ready for as more and more devotees come to stay here with their families. Our helpers, they come all the way from North India to help us here with tiling and fabrication work. So now we are here heading towards one of the more finished houses. This is pretty much the end of our property. You can see the fencing on this side, and there's some parking area we have created for houses over there. And cars can be parked. Also this is also going to be a road, paved road. So this is somebody's kitchen, and let's see how big this house is. This is going to be the living room with a small terrace. Another bedroom. You can see the high ceilings. This is a bathroom and a wonderful view of the valley from here. Another house with a kitchen counter. This is a studio, I think. Just one living room, a small meditation room, and your own terrace. So now, we've come towards the end of this tour, and we've seen houses, we've seen beautiful gardens, we've seen some people. It would have been nicer to have seen so many more people. But like Master predicted, that will happen one day. He said thousands of such communities. He said thousands of men must go north, south, east and west, spreading this ideal of world brotherhood communities. And Swami says his words were sown in the ether, and in time they will take root. But he also says that there is so much that we can do. And the other day I was in a satsang with devotees, and yes, we try to meditate. But so many people have this trouble of not being able to carry the meditative peace into their daily activities. And there I was, just compelled to try to ask them about the things that are troubling them. And it was everything, literally everything. Everything you might say other than the meditation was a challenge. And in a community, it's not that we don't face those challenges, but we have chosen a way of life. For example, in a city, in any country. The other day I was reading this magazine, the Time magazine. They're having problems in Cuba. They're having problems in China, Russia, in the Middle East, in India, in Pakistan, in America, for the economic reasons Swami has been saying. So everywhere people are facing an economic trouble, insecurity, health issues. When I was in hospital, I remember my hospital was taking the decision of starting a pediatric asthma ward, that, we need specific asthma wards. That's not the solution. Every hospital could have a ward, but why don't we create a community where health is taken care of, where meditation every morning is a priority, where you stay with people who are like-minded, people who are not cancelling your efforts, people who are forgiving, who are kind, a place where you have a school where, our children, and we have these schools. It's not that we are trying to look forward to these things. We are looking forward to them in India and in other places, but we already have these schools running for over 3 decades. Many of you stay in our own communities in America and Italy, and Swami has been trying to get this idea going, especially in India now, while he's here, that we not wait for the right opportunity to come and stay here. If there is something not right where we are staying, and we all know that is not right, why don't we simply come here and make it right? If it's the food, the other day somebody was saying, I don't eat apples, they are polished with wax. Why don't you come here and grow your apples? We showed these mango trees, 12-foot jackfruit trees that have come up. And Master said the only thing that will keep us happy in the end is a life which is simple, but the thinking of people, very simple living and high thinking. And I do feel, even Mahatma Gandhi once said, he said, I am simply bewildered by the sheer number of faces in a city. And he was talking in the 40s, I think, 1940s. What to say of 2012? So why don't we move to simple places where our lives are simplified and we have more work to do on ourselves, on our relationships, on our relationship with God. And I think a community is the only place which places it first. Just last week I was with my professor of surgery, and we were attending Swami's talk in Delhi. And he told me, he is one of the people who did India's first liver transplant. But he told me, he said, this is so nice, this is so peaceful. And how has your Swami written on such a wide range of subjects? So I think this line of gurus, especially with 5 avatars, they really know what they're trying to achieve, but they do need our help. And in a community with our own school, our own food, we have a cow shed, which we have not covered so far, but we have our own milk produced from there. We have people who have been working with us for many years. We have more people coming now. So we can choose this way of life. We have to deliberately choose this. And I don't see why it is difficult, especially with the kind of, troubles we are facing outwardly. Why don't we all come here and stay, make this happen? And to me, this is the most practical and meaningful way to live with God and with other Guru Bhais. So I encourage you all to come. And also follow Swamiji on his satsangs, as he'll be talking about this so much more. God bless you. Jai Guru.